So we're going to be exploring different kinds of angle pairs in this lesson. And there are special angle pairs that will help us identify certain pieces of information, and including being able to know what the measures of the angles are. So we have a pair of angles called adjacent angles, which are on the same plane, and they have a common side, like this angle 1 and 2 share this ray as a common side of that angle and that angle. They have a common vertex right there, and there are no common interior points, meaning there's no overlap between these angles, and there's no space between them either. Okay, so they are adjacent or right next to. 3 and 4, angles 3 and 4 are the same. They have the common vertex, common shared side, no space between them, and no overlap. Okay. We can have vertical angles formed by two lines crossing. You just have a line and another line, they're going to form automatically two pairs of vertical angles. And notice this, if we were talking about angle 1 and 2 here, the ray that is one side of angle 1 and this ray that is one side of angle 2, they're opposite rays. Essentially, they're a line when put together and split at this vertex point. Okay? Here, this other side of angle 1 and this other side of angle 2 are opposite rays, because essentially it's just two lines crossing. And that point where they cross is the vertex point of the angles. Angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles, and so are angles 3 and 4. And you'll find out a special relationship with vertical angles in a second. Okay, complementary angles. Complementary angles add up to 90. They complement each other. They don't have to be right next to each other, so although we can see that this angle right here is 90 degrees, and it's split by this ray into angle 1 and angle 2, those two together add up to the 90 degrees. That's the angle addition postulate. So they are complementary. And these two angles, even though they're not sharing a vertex point, which it's not required, as long as their measures add together to be 90, they're going to be complementary. Okay? And of course, supplementary, complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. So you can see that this is a straight angle. It's a straight line, so we know that it is 180 degrees. And they have a common shared side. This ray right here, angle 3 and angle 4 together add up to the 180. Okay? And right here, angle C along with angle B, these two numbers add up to 180. So even if they're not sharing the vertex point and they're not together, doesn't matter. They are supplementary because they add up to 180 together between them. So let's identify some of these angle pairs. And to do it, we're going to look at diagrams and answer if a statement is true and why it is true. Here we see it's asking about angle BFD right here and angle CFD. BFD and CFD. Now, how do you know whether they are adjacent? It's asking if they're adjacent angles. And you should just see whether each part of the definition of adjacent angles holds true. And one part that does not hold true, or let's start by saying what does hold true. They do have a common side FD, and a common vertex at F right here. They share FD, and they have this common vertex at F. The problem is they have common interior points. If you looked at BFD and CFD, they overlap here in this yellow region here. Okay, they can't overlap. They're not sharing a side with no overlap at the same vertex. So no, not adjacent. Okay, what about these angles? Are they vertical? Angle AFB, AFB right here, and angle EFD right here. Okay, do we have every part of this meeting the requirements? Well, FA, ray FA here, and ray FD are opposite rays, which we need to have both sets of opposite sides for these angles being opposite rays. But FE and FB are not. You can see that they just visually don't line up, and we're allowed to use that visually. We can see that they're not, so we know they're not. They're not vertical angles because we don't have those angles being formed by two lines crossing each other. Okay, and you can see that here. What they've done is they've eliminated the parts of the diagram that you don't need, specifically ray FC to just make it cleaner and able to see. And you don't, these two are not straight lines crossing. Okay? True or false? Angle AFE, and they're showing it down here, so I'll show it down here. Angle AFE and angle BFC are complementary. What does it mean to be complementary? They sum to 90. And when you take those measures, 62 degrees and 28 degrees, and you add them together, they do add to 90. So we say that those two angles are complementary. It is not required that they share a side or that they share a vertex, just that their measures sum to 90. So we say yes, they're complementary. Try this got it problem, see if each statement is true, and explain why your answer is what it is. Now, there are certain things that we can assume to be true and things we can't assume to be true in geometry. If an angle looks like it's 90 degrees, we're not allowed to assume that it's 90. We need to see some indication, including the little right angle box at the corner of the angle, that it truly is a 90-degree angle. Some things you can assume. Here are some things that you can conclude to be true just by looking at it. Angles are adjacent. If you see two angles that look like this, we can assume those angles are adjacent because visually they look like it. Now, of course, they can't be, they have to have the same vertex, okay? So that's one thing you can assume to be true. Angles are adjacent and supplementary. For example, if you had two angles like this, okay, they are adjacent. We can assume that they're sharing this common side here, and it appears that this is a straight line, so we can assume that it is. And then therefore, that's 180 degrees, and these two angles together sum to 180. What else can we assume to be true? Angles are vertical angles. If we have two, and I can draw it with a line tool here, if we have two lines that cross, oops, like this and like that, we can assume that those two are actually our lines like they appear, and then we can say, okay, we can assume that that and that are vertical angles, and that are vertical angles. And hopefully you understand why I put a single mark for these two and then double marks for these. Okay? Those are things we can assume to be true. What can't we assume to be true? Well, we can't assume that angles or segments are congruent. We can't visually look at them and say they look like they're the same, so therefore we're going to assume that they're the same measure. Got it? We can't assume that an angle, like I said, is a right angle. We need to mark the mark on it. And we can't assume that angles are complementary. We can assume two angles are supplementary, like these two here, because they form what we're going to learn to be called a linear pair, that this line right here is straight, and therefore these are supplementary. But you can't assume that an angle is right angle, so you can't assume that they're complementary either. So let's try a problem out here. Making conclusions from what we see in this diagram. What can you conclude from the information in the diagram? Well, looking at it, we can say, we can conclude because of these angle marks that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 by the markings. We can conclude that angle 3 and angle 5 are vertical angles because we can see these two straight lines that form them. These are opposite rays, these are opposite rays. Right there and there, they're vertical angles, which we then know they're congruent. And what else do we know? We know adjacent angles. Angle 1 and 2 are adjacent because they share a common side, no overlap, and sharing the vertex. Okay? Angle 2 and angle 3 are adjacent angles. Angle 3 and angle 4 are adjacent angles. Angle 4 and angle 5 are adjacent. Again, sharing a common side, no overlap, and sharing a vertex. And angle 5 and angle 1 are adjacent angles. Those are all things that we know to be true. What else do we know? Angle 3 and angle 4, right here, are both adjacent and they are supplementary. This is a straight line here, so we can assume that this is called a linear pair, which is two angles that share the vertex, share a common side, and are supplementary, add to 180. Okay, and of course 4 and 5 as well are the same. Okay, because it's the definition of supplementary angles. When their measures add to 180 degrees, as these two can clearly do because this is a 180-degree angle around this point, they are supplementary. Here is your got it problem. Now, I apologize for getting ahead of myself, but I talked about a linear pair already. A linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides, meaning right here, this is the side of this angle, and this is the side of this angle that are not in common. They're sharing this one. Are opposite rays. This is an opposite ray with this one. Okay, together they form that straight line. So the angles are a linear pair. This angle, angle ABD, and this angle, angle DBC, form a linear pair. We know that they are supplementary, add to 180, and they are adjacent angles as well. So we're finding missing angle measures based on the information that we know. What do we know? Okay, we know that angle KPL and angle JPL are a linear pair. So what do we know they sum to? They sum to 180. Okay, and we have an expression for each one. We have an expression for angle KPL of 2x plus 24, and we have an expression for the measure of angle JPL, which is 4x plus 36. And because they're a linear pair, they're adjacent, we know from the angle addition postulate we can add them together and equal them to what the larger angle measures, which is 180. So this angle, measure of this angle plus the measure of this angle equals a 180, definition of supplementary angles. And now we're just using algebra. We substitute in the algebraic expression for each and combine like terms and simplify to find that x is 20. And then, of course, we need to substitute that value of 20 in for each expression. Here's the expression for that first angle. Putting 20 in for x, we find it is 64. And we do the same for the second angle, and we find that that measures 116. That's how you do it. So here's your got it problem. Note here that there's no diagram for this. You're not basing it on this. You have another set of angles, which you don't need a diagram to do it, but if you want, draw the diagram before you solve it out. All right, one big last idea that we're going to be talking about here is angle bisectors. So an angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. If you took this angle, angle XAZ, and you split it into two equal parts, having two smaller angles that were congruent, equal measure, then we know that this ray AY is an angle bisector. Okay, so its endpoint is at the vertex, and there's also, I put it here twice because you could actually imagine that we just looked at the segment here from A to Y, and that segment also, even though it's not a ray that goes on forever, that segment itself is still splitting this angle into two smaller congruent angles, and therefore this segment can also be called an angle bisector. Okay? And since we know that a ray AY here is an angle bisector, we can then state that angle XAY is congruent to angle YAZ. All right, so what if you're given this problem and you need to find the angle measures? It says ray AC bisects angle DAB if the measure of angle DAC is 58, what is the measure of angle DAB? And they give you these choices. Now, this might be a little bit hard for you to visualize. So why not draw a diagram? Drawing a diagram will help you see what you're talking about. And when you draw your diagram, you should just be looking at it and making sure that it fits what was given to you. So let's have this diagram right here. We can see in this diagram that we've got angle DAB right here, and then we draw the angle bisector of ray AC, starting at the vertex point, going through C, and putting angle marks showing that this smaller angle now is congruent to this smaller angle. Okay? If the measure of angle DAC is 58, what is the measure of angle DAB, the entire larger angle? Okay? So what do? We say that we know, since these have the same angle marks, they're congruent since it's an angle bisector, that angle CAB is congruent in measure, or is equal in measure rather, to the measure of angle DAC. Okay? That's what an angle bisector does. And since we know this one is equal to 58, and we know that they're equal, we can then say this statement here: the measure of angle CAB is also equal to 58. Now, we also know this from the angle addition postulate, that the measure of angle DAB, the larger one, is equal to the measure of the two smaller ones added together, the measure of angle CAB plus the measure of angle DAC. Okay, this measure of this is equal to the measure of this plus the measure of this. And since we know that those are each equal to 58, the first one was given, the second one we just found by substitution, we can add them together, and we find that the measure of angle DAB, which is what they were asking, is the sum of the two smaller ones, or 116. So the answer then is D. Okay? Now, you've got a got it problem. Try it yourself. And there you go. That's the lesson. Try these lesson check problems and get your answers down, and then check your answers when you restart. Good luck.